Hi, it's Romy. Welcome to my channel, Sagittarius. This is your December 2020 soul story. If you have a Sagittarius sun, rising or moon, it is a general reading, but the information and insights may well resonate for you. Please make sure you check back in throughout the month as stories continue to unfold and energies change. I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a beautiful birthday month. Okay, Sagittarius, many happy solar returns for you. So December 2020. There is a very famous quote, two roads diverged in a wood and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference, by M. Scott. And it's kind of the vibe that I get for you in this month. You have the opportunity, Sagittarius, to stay in your own lane and to really harness the collective energy that's gathering in your sign, and to have this beautiful moment of rebirth that's going to accelerate you and move you forward. It is a real time of setup, okay? So not only is it going to bring everything to a point of culmination from the entirety of 2020, there is an extraordinary amount of astrological activity taking place this month, but it's also got you in the energy, especially with the Knight of Pentacles opening up your reading here, of planning, really preparing for what comes next for you. And I see you feeling, even though this Knight steps forward in a slightly more risk-averse way, because of this quote that just kind of landed for me when I was tuning into your reading, I actually feel that the decisions and the choices that you're going to make for yourself in December are perhaps to some people around you going to feel like you are taking the less obvious route or the less obvious path. And maybe that might not be the most popular for everybody else, but it's not about everybody else. You know, this is a month that really has a strong focus on you. And, you know, we've got this incredible new moon and solar eclipse in your sign happening on the 14th. And, you know, the thing to remember when we're coming into that eclipse energy is that, you know, usually it brings with it one big bang or even three things that happen in succession. Now, sometimes they can happen ahead of the eclipse or after, but certainly all of the energy is kind of coalescing at that time. And, you know, it's really important that you don't let anybody else kill your vision right now, Sagittarius. I see you incredibly focused. Now, you can see with this Knight, he's actually walking forward quite purposefully, but he's also like leaving these coins in his wake. So there's a suggestion to me that even if there are people that at this moment, for whatever reason, you may feel like you're having to leave behind because, you know, perhaps they're just not quite ready, they're just not quite on the same vibrational energy as you, you're still kind of leaving them directions. It's almost like you're just laying those breadcrumbs to say, here, you can catch up with me, but right now I have to be full steam ahead. I've got big choices to make. There are big changes that are happening, and I have to really make space in my life right now for what is going to feel for many of you to be a really kind of ingenious time for your creativity, your ideas, your inspiration, and for some really extraordinary life changes and events, okay? So the other big news, of course, that we've got coming in the month of December is that both Saturn and Jupiter are going to be entering Aquarius. Collective sigh from all of my beautiful Sagittarius people, because it's not been the easiest of journeys to work with this heavy Capricorn energy for so long. And in the placement of Aquarius, it's going to feel a lot lighter for you. Of course, that helps us to make our way to what has been well publicized, this incredibly auspicious energy day on the 21st of December, where Jupiter will conjunct Saturn. So this is the first time in, 615 years this has happened. So historic change taking place, the end of an era and the rebirth, where you are really moving and accelerating and transcending at such a fast pace. Now, we've got Queen of Wands energy coming through. And you see, I love the combination that we have for this, for you, Sagittarius. We have this purposeful, grounded, I'm just going to get on and do what I know is necessary at this point in time, but I am also able to keep a cool head when there is going to be some very frenetic, very chaotic energy, But then here I have this beautiful Queen of Wands fire energy coming in to support that beautiful elemental vibration that you bring to the equation, igniting that sense of creative inspiration for you. It's almost like you just have this moment of epiphany about something. Perhaps for some of you it's going to land really strongly in terms of your path of purpose, you know, where you want to be heading, what comes next for you. And here's the thing, in spite of any restrictive energies, you're going to feel a sense of freedom. It's almost like you can taste the change, you know, right on the precipice of it. And I have no doubt that you will see it flooded through the media, some extraordinary things taking place through the course of the next few weeks that are also going to help you to realize that your choices in this very moment mean everything in terms of what comes next for you. This is not a time to underestimate what you are capable of. This is a time to go bigger and bolder than ever before with the hopes, the dreams, the inspirations and the ambitions that you have. This is your solar turns. This is a time for your rebirth. Now, some of you may find yourself in situations that are not affording you at this moment in time to exercise that freedom in a way that you would like to. All I want to say is nothing is set in stone at this point. You can really, in some regards, throw everything up in the air in this month of December, and you can see the way that she has this beautiful expression of like delight and surprise at actually what's just landed in the palm of her hand. And there's just this ease around her energy as she sits comfortably, knowing that she's protected by this beautiful divine light, but she's also kind of holding up this wand as if to kind of harness the energy and draw towards her in this beautiful sense of magnetism, you know, the things that she's really focused upon, you know, understanding that you've done the work. So even if there are things that haven't showed up yet, or even if you've found that this eclipse energy, and you know, I'm recording this ahead of the Gemini lunar eclipse, but you're certainly set to feel, you know, an extraordinary change as a result of that lunar event. So, you know, if it does bring some chaos and disruption into your world, again, just hold on to see how things actually end up coming together after they've kind of been broken apart or have perhaps been moved out very quickly or suddenly from your life, okay? You are in a really, really strong position, Sagittarius. I need you to really feel into that aspect of your own essence and your own energy. And, you know, on the 21st, when Jupiter does conjunct with Saturn, we are also celebrating in the Northern Hemisphere the winter solstice. So it's that extraordinarily powerful time of year where we're also allowing a huge release of energy. And I was reading the other day, and it's so fascinating. If you haven't looked into this before, I really encourage you to check it out. You know, in Ireland, they have in the Boyne Valley this place called Newgrange, and there is a mound here that was constructed in the Stone Age, like 5,000 years ago. It was like way ahead of Stonehenge, way ahead of the Great Pyramids. And on the winter solstice every year, the light is able to flood through this kind of roof box, and it just floods the entire chamber underneath. It's really extraordinary. And you know, I was reading about it, and it felt so poignant as we kind of approach this real shift and this change in the collective energy. And you know, as individuals, each of us can kind of tap into that power right now. So even if on a physical level you feel disempowered because of different situations, you know, go wider, make your auric field bigger, and tap into some of the extraordinary shifts that are taking place, because really what we're trying to do right now is just surrender. You know, we're allowing that spiritual energy to just almost carry us forward to kind of the next timeline, the next place where we're supposed to be. Now here's the thing, you know, from that first part of December, from the 30th of November right through to the 5th, there's some really beautiful aspects astrologically, which are actually going to give you some nice gifts and also present the opportunities if you want to create, publish, launch, like put anything out there in the world, if you want to have really meaningful conversations, if you just want to tap into a little bit of that optimism and natural sense of positivity that is there within you, in spite of any circumstances that you might be experiencing, that's a really sweet time for it to do it. Now, of course, with the eclipse, with this conjunct, it's inevitable that things are just going to feel a little bit crazy, and to be honest, frankly, probably a little bit weird, but that can be wonderful. And so if you keep an incredibly open mind, as you move through the month of December, if you let go of the expectations, if you release, what has always been, what this time of year has meant to you, kind of the things that you've always had in place, and you just can try to find the beauty and the marvel in what you're being shown, and the fact that, so many planets now are in that direct motion, it means that energy is also within you. So there is this sense of you getting crystal clear clarity in some area of your life. And, on the 15th, Chiron moves direct again in Aries, that wounded healer planet rather. So there's something about you being able to transmute and work with some of the deeper healing issues that have taken place for you as well, which is really wonderful. Now, of course, the Hanged Man can put us in that situation where we feel like we're a little bit in limbo. But I need you to go deeper than that, because really what's causing that sensation, what's causing that emotion, what's causing that thought form, because you are inherently free, Looking at the external situations right now might have you feeling like you don't have a choice, but it's not the reality. So here we've got the Three of Pentacles coming in, and again there's this sense of like rich nutrient earth energy that is grounding you, which I love for you, Sagittarius, because what it does is it then gives you the space to be able to be your best self. If we are looking at this from a relationship perspective, perhaps there is a strong earth energy that's in and around you. What I'm looking at here is this almost aspect of counselling, of talking it out, of being able to find a kind of a third party, a neutral third party, or getting outside help, having support to be able to kind of see things for what they really are. And that's incredibly important, because there is an energy of sort of almost overstimulation and restlessness, you want to get going. If we look at all of the energy coming through with the Queen of Wands, and then there may be aspects with that Hanged Man of just feeling, how do I kind of get through this ceiling or this wall, or get to the other side of this door. It's going to happen through the next few weeks, okay? You are not going to find yourself in a stagnant position, coming out of December. There's just too much churn and change that's going on. And the really beautiful thing that happens in and around that time of the 21st as well is that Juno and Pallas Athena, these beautiful divine feminine energies, are also coming in to kind of soften the vibration, but also demonstrate the rebalancing that's happening between that divine feminine and masculine. And it's really a time for you to sign up for what you believe in, Sagittarius. So what is it that's driving you? Where do you find that resonance, Look around. Who are the groups? Who are the soul family? What are the relationships? Who are the people that are inspiring you? It's time to really consciously create, as the sun crosses over your sign. It's so potent and powerful for you, and I really want you to take advantage of that, because I'm just seeing that your ideas are gold right now. And yes, maybe it might not be the time for all of them to come through, but these are things that you're going to revisit over and over again through the course of 2021. Like I said, do not underestimate what you are capable of. Now we move toward the end of December with that big full moon in the sign of Cancer in your 8th house of deep transformation, very spiritual energy that you're working with, helping to really give yourself that time, particularly within the areas of home, with family, the way you're taking care of yourself, the relationship that you have with your own internal emotions, and allowing something to be reborn as a result of that. It takes strength, it takes courage to find that last ounce of energy to finish up this year after what you've been through, and nobody's doubting and nobody is disagreeing that what you've had to face and what you've had to endure is kind of tested and stretched you beyond what you ever thought you would have to experience or have to face or have to deal with. And yet here we see you still focused, still finding a reason and still actually coming into fresh new energy that's giving you hope. Yeah, so if you are in this month of December and you are looking at important relationships and wondering what's going to happen through the course of the next few weeks, if you're feeling still uncertain or you're trying to get to grips with something, that energy of strength powerfully guiding and protecting you. But there's also this suggestion that there's an opening up of communication that is going to flow through. Within that, you have to feel that grounded energy so that you're not triggered and that you're not really jumping into someone else's energy. Do you know, it just feels like they're saying to me, you've changed so much over the course of this year, and you know, you are going to find a lot of self-reflection taking place, and it might blow your mind a little bit when you actually realize how much has changed within you. You know, it's almost like you get to stop and catch your breath just for a moment, and when that happens, there's this realization that really it doesn't, in many instances, matter what comes next. And even if you can feel the uncertainty, or, you know, there's maybe some things that are not quite as come together, you know, put together as you were hoping they would be at this point, you come to this realization and acceptance that you can handle it. You can handle it. And actually you can, you know, there's this incredible sense of you just picking up what you have around you at the moment and reworking it and rewiring it, and making something extraordinary from it. That's what I see. And you know, that could very much be for some of you in relation to those important relationships. You know, the communication will help to set you free. Now, maybe it will set you free by bringing you closer, or maybe it's going to set you free by finally realizing that actually this is never going to be something that's going to work for you in the long term, or that actually, in spite of how much effort you've, you know, put into this, it's really time to draw a line, and that actually you feel really accepting of this. That's one of the things I want to say. I just have this sense of deep acceptance from you coming forth at the moment at some of the things that are unfolding. And card of Judgment is, again, just wanting us to tap into that energy of rebirth. You know, the Hanged Man and Judgment, deeply spiritual energies, you know, working with Neptune, working with Pluto, with both of these guides. And actually, you know, when you look at her face here, it's incredibly serene, and even in the Hanged Man as well, you know. So there's a quality of you just going, okay, I am where I am. This might not be perfect, but it's perfect right now. And I can feel this wave of change that is flooding through my life. And I know that that's going to carry me forward, and it's going to carry me far. And it's with that kind of an outlook that you can take on through this month of December, Sagittarius, that I see you really allowing the ascension to kind of fully demonstrate to you just how much everything has changed and how things feel different. You're probably going to notice that your energies feel very different through the month of December. You know, it's probably been an extraordinary journey all the way through the last 12 months, I have no doubt, but pay close attention. You're going to feel different within your physical body, within your thought forms. You'll start to have a sense of sharpness and clarity, perhaps unlike you've ever experienced before, you know. And this is so much of the flooding in of the new vibration that you're tapping into at this moment in time. So we've got the King of Wands. I love the stance. It's powerful, it's assertive, it's taking things on. It's just unafraid to say, there's a journey here, let's get going. The Lion for me always representing that sense of loyalty, you know. And I think, again, what I said about you sort of needing to move forward at this point in your life when you're saying, I can't wait for you, I can't wait for all of the situations to be perfect, I just have to get moving. But there is this quality of you're still loyal to the people who have supported you or been around you. And from that perspective, you are kind of leaving them the signposts to be able to, you know, come back in and sort of find the rhythm, to be a part of your world, to be a part of your soul family again. So there's not that sense of like ache or loss or really having to kind of profoundly let people go that really matter to you, but equally, like, no one must hold you back at this point, you know. The King of Wands has this beautiful visionary energy. Of course, fire, like yourself, could also be a Leo or an Aries energy that might be significant for some of you as well through this month of December, Sagittarius. But he's bringing through a boldness, okay? He wants you to trust your instincts on this, and it is a time for action, you know. December, even though you may feel to a certain extent it's a kind of winding down energy for the year, and perhaps some of you may still be in situations where you are kind of restricted because of wider policies that are in place, but at the same time there's going to be a coursing energy moving in your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, that's going to say, okay, let's get planning. And you know, this is the thing, it is this setup energy. And what that's going to do, if you can allow yourself to tap into the essence of that King of Wands, is it's going to help you to stay in that high vibrational energy, and that's going to make a big difference. So put it this way, you are going to have the choice of which road you take. Yeah, back to the quote, two roads diverge. So which one do you want to go down? You're going to see a very marked difference in the energies of people in this month of December. You'll notice that there are many who feel very stimulated, motivated, that want to get going, that are chatty, communicative, creative, inspired. There's just a lot of energy coming off of them, and they feel much lighter. And perhaps you'll notice the shift of people who have been a little bit quieter, stepping much more out into the forefront. And then you'll have others who are still struggling to process and clear out energies. Neither road is better than the other. It doesn't matter, how long it takes any of us to get to where we need to. We all have our own unique soul path, so it's not about judgment, but it is about tapping into what's right for you. You can't be held back or try to, find your rhythm in someone else's pathway. That's just not going to work. And if some of you are finding yourself in a situation where perhaps you're looking at what other people have, whether it's the right relationship, they've got the home, they've got the success in their career, or they have the family, and you're kind of feeling that those things haven't come to you yet, understand that even by virtue of the fact that you are so aware of what they have and the positive aspect of what you feel that represents, is already showing you that this energy is in your field of awareness, which means it's coming in for you. It means it's available to you. It means that you just need to focus more and more about the drawing of that towards you and really start to consciously co-create. So we have the card of the Lovers here, bringing in this energy of what's going on very much from a relationship perspective for some of you, okay? It does talk to me about the need to be strong through the month of December, okay? So perhaps there are some shifts and changes for some of you that are going to take place, particularly in that mid part of the month before we get to the kind of culmination of that big full moon in Cancer. And that change could take you by surprise. It could feel very chaotic, actually. Perhaps, something that comes to light, or something that's revealed or discussed or spoken about could have you feeling just a little bit blindsided to a certain degree. But again, remember, it shouldn't stop you. You have plans in place, and sometimes we feel like those plans are attached to specific people. And then if something happens and that person is no longer part of our energy, even if it's temporarily, it can kind of throw us off a little bit, and we can feel like, oh, all those plans have been dashed and they can't happen. And really there's a message here from Spirit for you, Sagittarius, about that isn't the case. Like, everything that you want and hope and dream for yourself, this is the time to really lock it in. This is the time to lock it in. And do not take any kind of shift or change or temporary flux in a relationship, or more permanent. There's also this vibe of very permanent change to mean that you can't have those things, okay? That just simply isn't the case. Now, the Lovers card does also link to Gemini, which of course is your polar opposite sign, and in the house of relationships for you. And again, maybe something coming up around that Gemini lunar eclipse on November 30th might be very important, something that you revisit through the month of December, and I feel to a certain extent there's probably something that you have to get over or to deal with that isn't the easiest. So it does challenge you in some way. It will challenge you emotionally. It perhaps might challenge you in terms of your circumstances. But again, I'm just drawn to this strength, and I'm also looking at the way that there's collaboration, open communication, and creative energy that's coming in to find a way forward, to find a way through. Remember her surprise, it's something coming in that's going to be able to support you. And also this energy of release, really important. Release and surrender into the what is of what is happening, but not to the detriment of losing any of the hope or anchoring or locking in all of those things that you actually want for yourself, okay? For some of you, you may find there are new connections that are forming. Before Venus moves into Sagittarius, which is happening on the 15th, we have Venus in Scorpio, which really can bring some beautiful spellbinding magnetic energy, lots of chemistry. So you might find that you've got a real spark going on, perhaps with a fire sign or an air sign that's showing up. Perhaps somebody culturally very different from you, or location wise at a distance from you. But I feel that it's almost like that opposites attract, and you might find this single point of resonance, perhaps something that you've both been through, or that you're both interested in. But I have this beautiful point of shared understanding over something that just leads to a really beautiful connection. So for some of you, that may be existing or new energies that may start to make themselves aware to you through this month. Okay, so 8 of Pentacles, again saying that even though this is a month where it's important that we recognize and have time for celebration, whatever religious faith or background you have, it's a time to certainly focus upon the kindness, the generosity, that spirit of giving and of being around the people that you care about. But there's also this energy of don't lose sight of the things that are really important, of all the hard work that you put into different aspects of your life. And both with the Knight of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles, there's almost like this studious aspect. And I think it's because you're kind of taking the energy of December and you're really understanding what it's showing you about yourself. You've got this big, deep review that happens of what 2020 has delivered for you. And I think that even if for some of you it's been a bitch of a year and you've kind of looked at it and just think, God, I really can't wait to get out of this year. I think if you actually took a little more opportunity to sit with it, that you would actually realize the extraordinary amount of wisdom that it has gifted you, And as we welcome that Jupiter into Aquarius energy, Jupiter's going to be far happier in the placement of this sign. You are going to feel a bit of lightness starting to come through as it moves forward in that way, which is also just going to almost give a little bit more of a spring in your step and a sense of hope, even against the backdrop of what may look like carnage and chaos, either collectively or in different aspects of your life to a certain extent. But that 8 of Pentacles suggests, don't lose sight, don't lose focus. And certainly you may find that actually there are new things that are popping up through this month of December that you're going to be planning. You're going to be putting plans into place to start to take them forward through the course of next year. So let's just take a look at the oracles and see how they're reflecting your reading. Okay, so you have the key to intimacy. Intimate love is a core need to be met in relation to ourselves and those closest to us. The journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not. Okay, so perhaps some of you have had that really profound lesson through the course of 2020 about toxic or difficult relationships, not even necessarily romantically. It could also be in, family or really close connections in your life. But the light being illuminated in the darkness here, it's probably something you've had to go within to really reflect upon. And particularly in the Northern Hemisphere, as we welcome these dark nights and approach the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, there is something that's really setting in for you about what it means to truly perceive yourself in a different way, so that the way that others perceive you moving forward can be completely transformed. And this will really unlock something in regards to emotional intimacy for you. So let's take a look here. Okay, we have light sun. Well, I love this for your solar returns coming through. We can see these beautiful figures you know, amidst a very clear night sky and the melting, really, it's like the melting of the sun. So something is transmuting and transforming. It needs to be alchemized, you know, and you to a certain extent are just the watcher here. You're the observer of it. So whether it's something happening very close to you or with someone close to you, or you're looking out into the world and really understanding that something has to be really brought back down to its base elemental energy before it can be reformed and rise like a phoenix through the ashes, you know. So it is going to be something that I think in witnessing it, it's going to feel quite extraordinary to behold, and also should give you some indication and validation of something that's going to start to change really strongly for you moving forward. Okay, Sagittarius, I hope this has given you a little bit of insight and resonance for this month of December. I'm going to go ahead and pull us some cards for the extended version of the reading. If you'd like to join me, it's a way to support my channel, and you'll find the link for it in the description box underneath. And we talk for another 20 minutes or so and pull out some additional messages. So let's just take a look here. We are clarifying this Knight of Pentacles with the Hierophant. So another earthy energy coming in. May well be a Taurus that you're dealing with, but you know, certainly that nice grounded vibe. We've also got the Fool coming in here. Kind of at opposites, I would say, with this sort of slightly restricted energy, and then this desire to just want to break free. But the Fool is playing with the Queen of Wands. You can see they're both kind of dancing with this magic here. So there's a really nice link happening there. Six of Pentacles coming in, you know, money-wise here. Opportunities for changes to come that perhaps are going to deliver a little bit more positive news than you've been expecting. Three of Wands, Magician, I like this. Rich in ideas, Sagittarius. Okay, we've got Judgment coming in with Hanged Man again. Some sort of decision perhaps that you're waiting on happening as well. Definitely a bit of a waiting game to see how it's going to unfold. Okay, we've got Hangman again here. I think there's also a message about you actually allowing in help, you know? It's just like, just surrender. Surrender to support. Knight of Cups coming through. Water sign, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancerian. Is that relevant for you? Again, it's a bit of a link for me for some of the new connections that might be coming in. And perhaps really lift your spirit, actually, if you have had some more difficult situations that you're dealing with. There's this quality of feeling like you're having to stand up for yourself. I think it's because some of the ways that you want to move forward, or perhaps some of the decisions that are happening, you know, are not maybe the most popular with others, but you know that they're right for you. Beautiful Aquarius energy with the Star coming in and that Page of Swords. Really nice message coming towards you, I feel. Perhaps from somebody you haven't heard from a while. Not necessarily feeling it romantic either. I just mean somebody from the past, perhaps someone that you've worked with, or a friend that you haven't connected with for a long time. Hermit card coming in. Hermit, you know, Judgment and Hanged Man here, just really showing the divine wisdom that's coming through this month. It's really extraordinary. Beautiful. Okay, so I would also just like you to think about a question that I might not have answered in the general reading right now, okay? We're going to go ahead and pull a couple of cards for it, and we will cover that off also in the extended reading, okay, Sagittarius? So just focus on that for me now. Pop a couple of cards. And what I'm also going to do is I want to pull a card just to give you a little bit of a one card peek into 2021. So what energy is going to be in store for you for next year? Okay, so pop that one down, and again we'll just explore that in the extended. You can also find my new gift and guide series of readings on the website, The Soul Journey, Divine Love, and your purpose path, and these are individual readings that I do as a voice recorded session, so please do check them out if you're interested in having a more direct reading with me. Thank you so much for all your support in 2020. I so appreciate each and every one of you. I'm just sending you beautiful blessings. If you're joining me for the extended, I look forward to going into this in a little bit more detail. Otherwise, I'll see you again for January readings and 2021 energy. Can't wait. Take good care.